What's going on, guys? We're on part 5 of this interview with Geddy Lee, and it is the last day to submit to win one of 2. I have 2 to give away, thanks to Dave. If you want one of these, you need to live in the US or Canada. Email me at jpanreadsemail@gmail.com. In the subject, write Bossman, because Geddy Lee. Write Bossman. And in the email, your name and your email address. And I'm announcing tomorrow morning's video. So you have not that much time. If you have not submitted yet, you're crazy. You're really pushing it, mister. I'm just kidding. You need to submit, okay? You need to get it in already. I'm going to pick at some point, like soon, like within the next several hours, I'm going to do it. So you don't have much time. You got like an hour. So do it. Open up another window, stop what you're doing, pause the video, submit, and then play the video. Okay, we're on to the last part 5 of this interview. All right, let's get to it. Bam.
And so did you, well, what was your experience of, if you don't mind my asking, of Jewishness and your Jewish heritage, both as a kid growing up and then I don't know, has being Jewish or being the child of 2 survivors, has that shaped or influenced Rush's music that in any ways that you're aware of? Or
oh, that's a large question.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I grew up in a home. My mother was Orthodox. She was very religious, and my mother and her sister and her brother and her mother all survived, which is kind of a miracle. Yeah. On my father's side, almost none of them survived.
Jesus.
He lost most of his family. He had a brother and a sister. The sister had come to America, Canada before the war, so she missed the war. And his brother survived the war, but I think he lost something like 6 brothers and sisters and his parents. On
Jesus.
And on. So, as you probably know, survivors cling to the faith, vehemently. And so my mother was trying to raise us in a very Jewish way. And it wasn't working out so well for her. So did that mean you didn't go out on Friday nights, and were you not allowed to go out on Friday nights? Yeah, she wasn't so religious that she made us go to synagogue every weekend or anything like that.
Oh.
But she
that doesn't
kept
sound
a kosher
very religious
home.
Then, right?
She wanted us to go to Hebrew school. She wanted us to be bar mitzvahed, all that kind of thing. She wanted us to marry nice Jewish girls and raise, replenish the lost tribe, right? That's what that's all about. And, it was very hard for her to see me grow up in a very assimilated world. Where those kind of things were just not happening and not in the cards for me.
Because you moved away to a whole different country.
I was bar mitzvahed, but it was the year my dad passed away. And it was funny because the minute he was gone from my life, I quit Hebrew school.
Wow.
Oh.
Because I really didn't like Hebrew school. And so my mother was heartbroken, and I had this gentleman who was taking care of me, sort of, in the sense that in the Jewish faith, I don't know if you know this, but when you lose a parent, there's a mourning period of 11 months and 1 day.
Oh.
And the dutiful son is supposed to go to synagogue every morning and every afternoon to say a prayer. And I did that for 11 months and 1 day.
Wow.
And this gentleman, who was very kind, picked me up every morning and every afternoon, and because he was mourning the loss of his parents. Wow. Yeah. So that was kind of an interesting year. It was a black year for me.
Great short story, actually.
Yeah.
God damn. This guy.
Go ahead.
No.
Jeez. I kind of lost my train of thought, but
no, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, but that after that period was over,
did
you feel sort of liberated? Or?
This gentleman took the responsibility of me learning my Torah portion for my bar mitzvah, and because I quit Hebrew school, I hadn't learned how to do it. So he went to a rabbi who recorded my portion on a record. He gave it to me, and I memorized it. And that's I bluffed my way through the Torah. I just did a tune basically, But that was the end of it for me. That was the end of my experience with religion in that regard. And so my views on being Jewish, I'm very proud to be Jewish. I love being Jewish, especially for the food and the humor. But I'm not a religious person. I'm not a big God guy. So I consider myself a cultural Jew, I guess, which is kind of a nothing way of saying it.
You're not
I like being
religious.
Jewish, but I don't do the duties.
And so musically, well, I mean, obviously you memorized that entire Torah portion, so it's somewhere filed away in your musical memory.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure I couldn't do it
Are there
today.
any kind of, do you think there's any lingering traces either musically or in any other way?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. But obviously, a Torah portion is interesting because you sing it. I mean, it is a song, essentially. So there's a musical
Russia's
aspect
music isn't really
to it.
bopping
And,
around,
and
though.
going to synagogue,
I just
the
think of all
cantor
those
is a singer. basically.
Times
So
I've played.
you are
Megillah
infused with the
and
kind of
those
music, but it doesn't rub off on many people.
parts. They kind of
It's
just
an odd
hop around.
context
Anyways.
for it.
But maybe as a kind of Rush itself as an entity, as a kind of a misunderstood and
Klezmer band.
Yeah, white or white. Well, yeah, true. I was going to say the band itself kind of has a kind of a outsider for a long part of its history. It had this sort of like misunderstood. People don't necessarily appreciate it, and they have a certain view of it that's totally false and inaccurate.
But it's true. There's something outside. There is something outsider about what we've done, and what we've always done, and it's quirky in that regard. I do recall in one part of La Villa Strangiato many years ago, I did throw in a Jewish folk rhyme, a children's rhyme, into one moment of La Villa Strangiato. It's a song my mother used to sing when I was little called Pachi Pachi Kichala, which is, it's just a kid's rhyme.
Patty cake.
Patty cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's patty cake. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
So what about you? What about your Jewish roots?
I mean, I think the beginning part was very different than your Jewish beginnings, but the end result is pretty well the same. Although I spent a long time in my sort of mid to late 20s into my 30s really trying to reconnect on every level, including going to services and so on, just to see if that was going to do it for me, but it didn't. No. And I mean, I think I'm a natural atheist, just born an atheist. And I've been locked all my life in a principled struggle to try to be agnostic, but it doesn't work.
I understand.
So, I mean, I know there's a lot of justifiable pride among Canadians about Canadian music now. And, Rush is one of the most, one of the bands that Canadians celebrate the most proudly. But what did it take finally for Canada to sort of wake up and appreciate you?
Well, we had some success in America, and then we won a Juno Award, which is like our Grammys, for Most Promising Group of the Year. I think that was in
When was that?
75 or something.
Oh,
wow.
The friendship between
Super
you and
early.
Alex is
Super
well
early.
known and is
Wow.
just perfectly evident anytime you two guys are together. You can see that you're friends. It's just a very natural kind of friendship. And what's it like to have a best friend like that for now? If the band's been together 40 years, so you're getting close to, I don't want to say.
I've known Alex many years.
Is it?
Many years.
Do you still, when you're together, do you still feel like you felt when you were 14 or 15 and met for the first time, or is it different now?
No, not all the time.
Yeah, I would
When
think.
him and I, we make a point. Well, first of all, let me just say that when you work together and you travel together and you spend as much time together, you can't be those two kids
Right.
making each other laugh in the schoolyard. It's impossible. There's too
You're
many
working.
practicalities that you have to share, and traveling is wearying. So those moments are few on the road, but they exist, and we try to make a point of having dinner together.
Right.
And usually when we have dinner together on our own, it gets very silly. and that's when I feel like what you're describing. That's when I feel like this is my pal and my brother, really, in a sense. And we have this remarkable relationship. And sometimes we'll be off the road and we're busy with our own lives, and I haven't seen him in a while. And yeah, I'll get a note. I miss you. What's going on? And I'll say, okay, let's go have dinner. And we'll have dinner. We'll go have dinner, and we'll get completely wasted. And we have the best time. We have the best time. And it just reminds me of being, 16 and playing in some lousy gig somewhere, and then we're driving some clunker home. And the whole way home, you're laughing so hard that you have to pull over on the side of the road because you can't drive straight. And that's at the heart of my relationship with him, and that's what I love about him. And I'm very grateful that I still have him in my life like that.
I mean, that is something to be incredibly grateful for. I'm envious hearing about it. You've been really blessed with that friendship. I'm sure he feels the same way.
Yeah.
And we've been blessed to have you sitting here to talk to us tonight. And I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you.
Okay. All right. There we go. Interesting. That was kind of it almost felt a little like impromptu. Just because, like, it seems like he didn't have questions. He just kind of went where he felt to go. It didn't really seem like there was, like, a structure to the interview or anything like that, or, like, a reason or a purpose or, they weren't promoting R40. I think this aired right before. This aired in January 2015, and R40 was in the spring, summer, right? So, I don't know. This is kind of interesting. And again, that's why I'm like, it felt a little bit slow. And I think a lot of that is because didn't seem like there was specifically a structure, but it was still good. There was still some good stuff, cool stuff that came up about it. And anytime you hear stories or see any of, like, some photo that you've never seen before or whatever, that's all really cool. Any specific footage or whatever, that's all always really cool. Yeah. I specifically, for me, it was more like the writing kind of stuff, whether it was the lyrics or like the songwriting part. It was like lots of that stuff that was interesting about this. I mean, I feel like I knew a lot of it already. Frankly, I don't know that I felt that there was anything new or too much that was new. But, just to hear all that kind of stuff again, because it's always good. Yeah, like, I didn't know about the whole Bjork thing. That was interesting. That's very cool. But yeah, any kind of music. You can get it from any kind of music. You can hear something from some style of music that then inspires you to write whatever your style is. It could be a completely different style. All that stuff doesn't matter. And music is music. It's all good. Anyways, very cool. Okay, so your last chance right now to submit for one of two of these Geddy Lee replica #1 basses, miniatures. Wow, like my Alex one right there. Okay, my Alex guitar. Live in the US or Canada. Email me at jpanreadsemail@gmail.com. In the subject line, write Bossman. And in the email, your name and your email. And you have like an hour to do it, okay? You don't have much time because at some point today, I'm going to film the video that gets put out tomorrow that announces who wins. So that means you need to do it right now. If you have not done it yet, you need to do it right now, like literally right now. Don't go to the bathroom. Don't get a glass of water. Don't do anything else. Don't get up from the computer. Get on your email app on your phone and submit right now if you want a chance to win one of two of these. Okay? Cool. Thanks, Dave, for both of these and for the Alex guitars. Dave sent me these 4 to give away. Really amazing. Fantastic. Super cool. So awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. You're all super cool. I'll catch you in the next video.